We're going to work now with a series to open up not only your hips, but also your lower back. So think of this series as working everything from your belly button down in a seated position. So this is lovely if your lower back's getting a little bit cranky, if your hips are a little bit stiff. Parts of this are challenging, I will admit right off the bat. So if any part of this is too much for you, or it just doesn't feel right for your body, either today or even in this lifetime, give yourself a moment or two just to let that slide. Just skip that part of the series and move on to whatever it is that works for you. So we'll start this series by extending the legs out in front of you. And allow yourself, I'll start with my left leg. So we're going to work just by opening up the hips slightly. And what we'll do is just some gentle rocking. While you're doing the rocking here, things that you want to be mindful of is that you're not compromising the ankle joint or the foot by asking it to move too much. So you're supporting it, and you also want to support the ankle and the knee so you don't have one joint that's just kind of hanging out there in space and could be threatened. So support the body completely. The tendency while you're rocking is to slouch a little bit, and that's okay, fine. Let your body do what it wants to do, but occasionally you might want to just intentionally lengthen that spine. Bring the ribs away from the hips, bring your shoulders out of your ears, and just allow yourself to see how that feels, to see what that does for your experience. So after, I usually count maybe 20 or 30, just gentle rocks, whatever works for you. Maybe today 5 or 6 is enough for your body, and that's okay. And as you choose, let yourself gently draw the knee back if that's comfortable for you, so the hip opens just a little bit differently. And if it's comfortable, we're going to open up the hamstring. To do that, place the left hand on the bottom of the foot, and you'll extend it up. Now, if you don't prefer to use your hand, you can always use a tie and extend it up. Here, what you want to do is keep the knee bent, actually. You don't want to straighten that leg because we don't want to threaten the knee. So keep a bend in the knee, and rather than straightening the knee, lengthen your spine. Let yourself grow as tall as you can, and you're going to feel it jump right into the hamstring without injuring the knee. That's what we want. Just some gentle breaths, whatever works for you. After you open up the hamstring, then we want to open up the opposing muscle group. In this case, it's quadriceps we're after. So let yourself bring the leg back behind you. You might want to move the calf, the muscles of the calf out to the side as you come back. Bend your right leg at the knee. Place the right foot on the floor and lift the hips up. So now you can do some pelvic breathing. As you inhale, you're arching the back slightly. As you exhale, bring the pubic bone toward your ribs so that you get the length that you want in the quadricep. You'll feel this immediately. Let yourself inhale and then exhale. Draw the pubic bone back and get some length in the quadricep and back and forth. Now, if your knee is okay with this, if your ankle is okay with this, if your back's okay with this, and the quadriceps really starting to open up for you, if you'd like, you can come down into a classic yoga posture called the hero, just by sitting down. Those of you who are very flexible, you might even choose to go back a little bit further. If that doesn't work for you, do what works for you. After a couple breaths and some gentle, loving, compassionate time here with your quadriceps, we're going to open up the short adductors of the inner thigh. So the left foot now is going to come directly onto the floor, slide the right foot back behind it, and then let yourself go into a forward bend. What you want to do is keep the spine nice and long, ribs away from the hips, shoulders out of the ears, and just let the left foot ground into the floor and let yourself just do some gentle breathing. This will open up the short adductors of the inner thigh. When you're ready to come up, let yourself slowly and gently come up. Slide that right foot a little bit closer to your rear end underneath you so you can bring the left leg on top of it. Now, you don't have to have the knees right on top of one another. They can be apart a little bit. But let yourself open up, and now we're going to go after the lateral rotators of the hip. In this case, it's going to be piriformis. So a nice long spine, ribs away from the hips. without moving from your waist. So we're not bending at the waist. Long spine, move from your sits bones and let yourself come into a forward bend. You will feel this maybe immediately in those lateral rotators. Gentle breathing, just let yourself enjoy. If you want a little bit more out of it, you can experiment. You can try dorsiflexion of the feet. You can try, if you'd like, bringing the right shoulder, the opposite shoulder, in the direction of that left knee without collapsing at the waist. So you've still got the ribs away from the hips, still nice long spine, and just breathe. Just some gentle breathing. And then as you choose and whenever you're ready, let yourself come up. Place that left foot on the floor, and now we go into a twist. Long spine, ribs away from the hips. Bring yourself into a nice gentle twist. Again, you don't want to be pushing your body into it. So your arms are not weapons here. Your arms are not pushing your body into it. Your spine is taking you to where it's comfortable, and then your arms are simply supporting. Now, if you're really flexible and you want to go a little bit deeper with it, bring this right arm all the way around and let it come inside the left thigh. And just breathe. Keep your shoulders over your hips, shoulders out of the ears, shoulder blades toward one another. After a few breaths in that twist, let yourself come back to center. And then without moving the legs, we're simply going to go in the opposite direction. Nice long spine, ribs away from the hips. Let yourself go in the opposite direction. Now you can bring the right arm, let it come around this left knee and hug it towards your body, and use your left hand to kind of support you. Again, if you're rather flexible and you want to explore going a little bit deeper or trying something a little bit different, let yourself bring this right hand underneath that left knee and hold hands behind you. Again, just easy stuff. Make sure that your body's comfortable with it, and certainly don't push your body any place it doesn't want to be. There's nothing to be gained by threatening your body on your yoga mat. And when you're ready, bring yourself back. And then extend that left leg out, just bring it down on the floor, bring the bottom of the right foot on the inside, dorsiflex both feet. When you're ready, again, a nice long spine, ribs away from the hips, and forward bend. Just let yourself just gently and easily, nice forward bend. Nothing taxing. Now, if your lower back is fine, if your lumbar area is fine, there's no issues with it, no concerns whatsoever. After a while, if you'd like, you can bend slightly and let yourself curl closer toward that leg. This brings it into the lumbar area. But if you have issues with that, if you've got concerns about that, don't go there. Just keep the ribs away from the hips. Sure, you won't go down as far, it won't look as cool, but you're going to protect your back, and that's what we want. Certainly, as we age, if you have concerns with osteoporosis, you're not going to tax that lumbar area at all. When you're ready, bring yourself back up, and then the right leg goes on top of the left. So the ankles are simply crossed. You're going to use your right foot now to guide the left foot toward the floor. So you're bringing it down toward the floor. Nice long spine, your shoulders are over your hips. Now your torso is going to go toward the left. So you're moving away from this left leg. What this opens is the iliotibial tract on the outside of that thigh. Nice long spine. If you're not feeling this at all, what you might want to do is explore bringing your torso a little bit further forward, because chances are you're leaning back a bit, which makes it easier, but that takes you right out of experiencing this lateral side of your leg. So as you choose, let yourself kind of come forward a little bit with your shoulders and your chest, and just gently breathe. And then we're right back where we started. You're probably very glad about that at this point. So let's go with the other side whenever you're ready. We're going to take that right leg and just some gentle rocking. I like to think of this, we don't rock our bodies. We don't tenderly care for ourselves very often. So give yourself a moment to just gently rock, to just easily rock that hip, rock that leg. Let it relax a little bit. Let it find a place of comfort, not just physically, but also emotionally. Let it just be comforted and easy. Be sure that you're supporting all the joints so that nothing's kind of threatened out there. And if you'd like, you can draw that leg back a little bit or not. When you're ready, we go from here into hamstring. Again, you can use your tie if that's your preference. And rather than straightening the knee, we want to protect the knee, lengthen your spine. Bring your ribs away from your hips, bring your shoulders out of your ears, and just some nice gentle length in the spine. That'll drop you right into hamstring without threatening your knee. And when you're ready, after hamstring, we go after quadriceps. So move the flesh of the calf out of the way as you draw it back and bring the foot back behind you. You want to be sure that the foot is pointing toward your midline. You never really want the foot pointing away from your body. That certainly puts the knee in a place where it can get injured. Let the left foot come to the floor, raise your hips off the floor, and as you choose, go into your pelvic breathing to engage those quadriceps. So as you inhale, ribs away from the hips, the back arches slightly. As you exhale, bring the pubic bone toward your ribs so that you feel the quadriceps open up for you. Inhale and exhale, draw it back, and inhale and exhale. You're probably going to feel a difference. Most of the time, the sides of your body are not equal and not the same. So you might feel it more on this side, and then you might have felt it more on the other side, whatever works for you. When you're ready, draw the pubic bone back, and if your knee is okay with it, if your ankle's okay with it, if your quads are okay with it, if your back's okay with it, explore hero. Come all the way down, and perhaps let yourself lie back a little bit. If any of that is way too much fun for you, just don't go there. No need. When you're ready, bring yourself up, place the right foot flat on the floor, the left one comes behind it, and now we open the short adductors. So let yourself just lengthen forward with that spine, ribs away from the hips, shoulders out of the ears, and just breathe. Press the right foot into the floor, and just breathe. When you're ready, let yourself come on up, and now this right leg goes on top of the left. And straighten yourself up. Let yourself get both sits bones close to the floor. It might not be, and that's okay. In fact, if both sits bones do not hit the floor, try spreading the knees a little bit further apart so that you can level your pelvic area and keep your spine nice and comfortable. So nice long spine, ribs away from the hips, forward bend, moving from your sits bones, not your waist, so that you can feel the lateral rotators again. Piriformis is probably going to be paying attention at this point. As you choose, if you'd like, you can dorsiflex the feet, see how that feels. You can bring the left shoulder in the direction of the right knee, again, without collapsing the ribs toward the hips. Nice, easy breaths. Piriformis is critical to open up and relax, especially if you've got lower back stuff going on. And the sciatic nerve that a lot of people mention as being a problem area for them. The sciatic nerve actually goes right underneath the piriformis muscle, and in some bodies it goes through that muscle. So you want to be sure that it's got some length and some wiggle room. It can open up and release. Then as you choose, place the right foot on the floor. Square your hips so that you're sitting directly on the floor, lengthen up through the crown, and go into your twist. Be sure your shoulders are over your hips, nice easy breaths. Again, if you're feeling really flexible on a particular day, you can bring that left hand all the way around and slide it inside the right thigh. Some easy breaths. Twisting postures are very comforting and very quieting, so if you'd like to hang out here for a while longer, feel free. Go maybe more than 2 or 3 breaths and see what feels good for you. When you're ready, bring yourself back up, lengthen the spine, and let yourself go gently in the other direction. You can wrap that left arm around your right knee and hug yourself with it. You can use your right hand behind you. And again, if you're feeling really flexible, experiment with bringing that left hand underneath the right knee and hold hands in the small of the back. Nice, gentle breaths, easy things. And when you're ready, come on out, extend the right leg out, bring the left leg on the inside, nice long spine, and go into your forward bend. We didn't mention this on the other side, but if you're only feeling this behind your knee, simply bend the knee or put something under it like your fist so that you give that knee a little bit of space. You're working directly with the hamstring and you're not threatening the joint. So nice long spine, ribs away from the hips. And if you want, we talked about this before, if your lumbar area is okay with it, you can collapse a little bit more and let yourself come down a little bit closer. But if your lumbar spine doesn't like that, there's no need to go there. When you're ready, come on back up. Left leg over the right leg. Bring the right foot down to the floor. The instep comes close to the floor. Spine nice and long. And let your torso move and twist to the right. So you're moving away from that right foot and you're opening up the outside of the leg. Just some easy breaths, some nice gentle stuff. If you're not feeling this at all, bring the shoulders closer over the hips, more forward. And just some easy breaths. And when you're ready, let yourself come back. Then you might want to come into a comfortable position, whatever it is that feels for you. Let yourself just take a couple breaths, enjoy how you're feeling. And whenever you're ready, move on with your day.